it's still this. I feel like I'm in some kind of weird echo chamber here because nobody else has emerged. And I'm going to make my last appeal to Lionel, to Jorge, to the Messi clan. You have a chance to do something special. You have a chance to do something meaningful with what is left of your career. You've done so much that's meaningful, right? Doing something meaningful means going, and by the way, before the Cristiano guys get excited, same thing for Cristiano, had he gone back to Sporting Lisbon. Do something meaningful. I like stories. I would love it if you went back to Rosario. If that's not possible, go somewhere and do something meaningful with what is left in your career. Going to Saudi now is not meaningful. Going to Inter Miami, to me, not meaningful.
Why? Why not MLS and Inter Miami?
Because
you could have a huge impact there for soccer in America, in the
I'm
whole
not
of America.
sure at this stage of his career, with the climate, playing in the summer in Miami in 1,000,000% humidity, walking around the pitch and whatever. I don't.
No, but it will still be good, as I can see in Ligue 1 most weeks. Even walking, even at 35, even in being like he is now, is still way too good for most of the teams in Ligue 1.
No, I need to be way too good for anybody in MLS.
Teams.
I'm not
So
disputing
it will still
that.
be good.
I don't know. I just want something romantic. I don't want to hear the commercial aspect.
Is
of
Barcelona romantic? Is a return to
In
Barcelona
his case,
romantic?
no, because I also actually, believe it or not, Barcelona fans, I care about Barcelona as well. Right? Right now, we've reached such levels of absurdistan. Right now, as you know, Barcelona are so far up Spit Creek financially that, you know, Araujo and Gavi are still registered as B team players because they can't even register two people who are already there. Okay? Yeah. So now they're saying, oh, no. And there's a serious risk that they might not be able to play in the Champions League next year, despite probably winning La Liga, right? Mm-hmm. There is that possibility. Yeah. And this is before you even get into the Negreira case. This is purely the amount of losses that they've taken on, right? I've actually heard people with a straight face in Catalonia saying, "Oh, but it's okay because Laporta has a plan. The way we're going to pay for Messi when he comes back is he's going to come in and because we're banned from Europe, we're going to get permission. We're going to do a tour of Asia on those midweeks, and we can go and play Barcelona against Al Hilal or whoever you want and get paid. And we'll make more money than we would have made if we were in the Champions League." But this is the level of absurdity and hysteria that has gone into it, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not going to blame anybody for negotiating the best possible contract they can, but I just think it's worth remembering. In his last 4 years at Barcelona, Messi earned 515 million euros, okay?
Yeah.
He took a big pay cut when he went to Paris Saint-Germain, funnily enough, right? So massive dereliction of duty on the part of Bartomeu and the people who gave him that contract. That's not on Laporta because he came after. But to some degree, if I'm Messi and I know that my club, the club where I grew up, the club that I'm still really, really attached to, is close to potential insolvency because of this, because of all the money that they gave me, and if I truly profess to love the club, something romantic, go back and offer your services for the league minimum for free. Do what Gasol did when he went back to Barcelona, right? That would be romantic.
He might do that. I mean, let's remind everyone that Barcelona right now have to cut 170 million, so 170 million of their wage bill, of their current wage bill. So that's even before Messi signs for 10 million a year, 5 million a year, 20 million a year.
They can make some of that back with selling players.
Yeah, so they will sell KC and Ansu Fati and Rafinha, those guys. Then, sporting-wise, the question is, does it make sense to bring back a 35 Leo Messi in this team? Where is he going to play? How are they going to play with him? Because it will be very different to how they play now without him. Because Busquets, Gavi, Pedri are, starters. Lewandowski is a starter. You've got Dembele. So you play him wide. So this, I just want him to go back to see how Xavi deals with it all. And I think this is going to be a fascinating journey to see where does Messi fit, how he fits. La Liga has been quite average this season. So I think he will still have an impact, certainly domestically. Right. But again, I would really, really love to see him. I would love to see him anywhere, really, and see what kind of impact he has.
So the other option, of course, is Saudi. And, you know...
Right now, it's the only offer on the table, by the way. This only offer he has right now.
But what about all those people who keep telling us, and we know the same people, he's 100% going to Inter Miami? People were
No, but I
saying
think
that
they're
until
preparing. We saw, Ron Garber the other day was again mentioning here, saying like, we've always
Ron
found...
Garber. Ron Garber.
What did I say?
You called him Ron.
Ron? Sorry, Don, my bad.
He gets, yeah.
Saying we can find a clever way. We've always found clever ways of attracting those players. Right. We need more than a clever way to bring Messi with the current wage structure in MLS to bring it into Miami. But there's still no offer right now whether you want to compensate the loss of wages by an investment within the franchise. And we know how close they are to Jorge Mas and in a way to David Beckham.
But even then, compensate. What are we talking about? I mean, I'm sorry.
If you give him 20% of the franchise.
I hate to be like man on the street here talking about this, right? But I just genuinely, I was fortunate. I grew up privileged, but I cannot fathom how, if you have made the money that these people have made. And by the way, there is a difference. There is a difference between having a net worth of 50 million, where you're extremely rich, and having a net worth north of 200 million.
Yeah.
You know, there really is a massive difference. If you're net worth of 50 million, you're not flying private all the time. 200 million, you really move the needle. Once you've reached that level, part of the reason you have all this money is you get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So my question is, does he want to go to Al Hilal? Is that what he wants? You know, and money shouldn't come into it because you're going to retire at some point. It's on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
So make these last years count.
No, I agree.
And maybe it is Inter Miami, but this idea that Don Garber has to tie himself into knots so he can make the deal financially attractive to Lionel Messi. No, honestly, for me, I would say, Messi, you made all your money. You come here, you get exposure, you get to make as much money commercially as you want because you're in a big market, and you help take MLS to the next level. We'll pay you whatever we can pay you. It's not going to move the needle for you.
I think
that's what I would do. And I would just challenge him with it. And if you'd rather go to Saudi, go to Saudi. Go to Saudi. You know why he's going? Because people in Saudi aren't stupid. Saudi has a pretty serious football league already with a lot of passionate fans.
Yeah.
These people are educated about football. They know that Cristiano coming at his age isn't like Cristiano coming 10 years ago. They know that Messi coming. None of them believe that Messi and Cristiano are there because they've suddenly become massive proponents of the Saudi project and they want to turn... Like, nobody believes this.
Yeah.
It is a big artifice. And we saw this. We see this all the time. We saw it in MLS. We saw it in the Premier League. When they started bringing in all these... When the Premier League suddenly had money in the mid-90s and they brought in, big aging stars from elsewhere, people said they're only here for the money, right? Yeah. That's not how you sell and build.
No.
And... So I think you also have to think about that. How realistic and how solid is this project? If MBS wakes up tomorrow and says, this is stupid.
But it's one year. It's 1 year.
How do you know it's 1 year?
Maybe two maximum. They would not give him more than a 2-year deal. And I think the current offer is a 2-year deal anyway. Like Cristiano had a 2-year deal. So, but I think that Inter Miami are in such a strong position now. Massively. And that's what Don Garber, who's a really smart guy, I think whatever they're doing right now in New York, in the offices and in Miami, just get the best deck possible, the best PowerPoint you've ever made in your life, and just with the best advantages that you can. Maybe it doesn't have to be 100 million a year, but maybe it could be shares in something, pre-agreed partnership with big US brands. I don't care. Anyway, like actor career in Hollywood after, I don't care. But right now, Barca are nowhere near being able to offer Messi anything and still be okay with La Liga financial fair play, all of that. Because as you said, it depends a lot on who they sell and Kessie and so they're there, but they're not really there. PSG gone. Al Hilal and the Saudis are just, like you said, it's a project. It's concrete because they have an offer on the table for the Messi camp. Based Saudi Arabia, and if you enter Miami and MLS, you are a very different project, but you could be in a way, more attracted football-wise, maybe than the Saudi League. So I think that Inter Miami have never been in a stronger position than they are now to attract Leo Messi to MLS and the US and etc. etc.
You know, I think and I hope that somebody else will come out of the woodwork. And again, I go back to the romantic aspect of it. I'm sorry. Daniele De Rossi was not Lionel Messi. Mm-hmm. He played until he was very older than Messi.
Yeah.
At Roma, club legend, blah blah blah. He had offers, and obviously mid-table teams, but in the Premier League and whatever. And he said, "I've only got so much time left. I'm going to go play
for Boca
Juniors."
Yeah. Was that a success?
I think for him personally,
yeah,
it was because he wasn't a success on the pitch because he didn't play great and he was older and whatever. But he went there, he made almost nothing.
Yeah.
Right. But he says, I got to play La Bombonera for Boca Juniors. I fulfilled when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, in addition, obviously, to playing for Italy and playing for Roma, right? Those were my shirts. The other one, I love the shirt. Diego Armando Maradona wore his shirt, right?
Enough. Maybe Messi doesn't have that kind of dream. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe
he fulfilled it with Barcelona, and now he doesn't need to go anywhere else.
And maybe Rosario is not just going back there. It's not right now what he wants. I don't know.
But I don't know. I just find this. Look, it's not going to tarnish his legacy because of what he's achieved as a player, right? But I think it speaks to this idea that when footballers reach this level, the people around them, who, it's almost like you're exploiting, some kind of, I don't know, iron ore or gold mine, and you need to squeeze as much as you can for as long as you can out of it.
Yeah.
And that is frankly what I find really, really depressing.
Yeah.
About this whole thing and pretty unseemly.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.